History loves to glorify Elizabeth I, the queen who defeated the Armada, the queen who built England's golden age, the queen who ruled alone, untouchable. But what if I told you the real Elizabeth was not forged by brilliance, but by trauma? She learned silence because speaking meant danger. She stayed single because marriage meant death. And she trusted no one because the last man she trusted executed her mother. If you don't know that her father executed her mother, check it out here. But today, in this timeline, everything changes. What if Elizabeth I never suffered the events that shaped her? What if she grew up loved, protected, safe? Would England still rise? Or would history collapse? Let's find out. Do you think history is made by genius or by pain?
A superb vintage, my love, to the future Queen of England.
To His Majesty.
In our new timeline, May 19th, 1536, Anne Boleyn is not executed. Instead of falling to political schemes, Anne is exiled alive, sent to a quiet fortress under royal watch. Henry VIII cools his rage, already eyeing Jane Seymour, but Anne's survival changes everything. Because one person is watching very closely. Little Elizabeth, just 3 years old. In real history, this was the day her childhood ended. But here, she grows up believing her mother is alive. Distant, but alive. And that sliver of hope becomes her foundation. With no execution haunting the court, Elizabeth is never labeled the cursed child, never stripped of legitimacy, never branded with her mother's alleged sins. Instead, she remains the Lady Elizabeth, a princess with a complicated mother, not a dead one. And the psychological shift? Massive. A child who grows up without trauma doesn't sharpen herself into a blade. She grows into something softer and maybe more dangerous.
Imagine if the one thing that traumatized you the most just never happened. Would you still be you?
Hush now, sweetling. It is quite all right. Pay him no mind, he did not mean to be so harsh.
Without the paranoia of Henry's court poisoning her early life, Elizabeth's education shifts from survival strategy to genuine curiosity. She still becomes brilliant. Languages, theology, philosophy. But now her intelligence is nurtured, not weaponized. She grows up confident, expressive, unafraid to speak her mind. Foreign ambassadors describe her not as the silent, observant girl of real history, but as the radiant Tudor princess, articulate, warm, politically aware. A princess who isn't hiding. A princess who isn't afraid. A princess who knows she is wanted. But confidence in the Tudor court is gasoline near a flame. Because while Elizabeth grows stronger, another storm begins brewing. The Seymour brothers.
Confidence is power. But in the Tudor court, power is deadly. Do you think she's ready for what comes next?
The genitive case dictates possession. How would you translate this passage?
The Queen's. It must be Regina.
Excellent.
In our real timeline, Thomas Seymour's predatory behavior nearly destroyed Elizabeth. But in this timeline, Elizabeth is different. At 14, she's not isolated, not naive, not desperate for affection. She has political awareness. And more importantly, she has a living mother who taught her caution. So when Thomas Seymour tries his usual pattern, early morning visits, inappropriate touching, his playful attempts to cut her gown, Elizabeth reacts differently. She reports him directly to her father, and Henry VIII, already suspicious of ambitious men, explodes. Thomas Seymour is arrested, interrogated, and executed for plotting to corrupt the Lady Elizabeth. Catherine Parr, devastated, withdraws from politics entirely, and Elizabeth, she becomes a political weapon. The court whispers, she is not Anne's daughter. She is her own
She'll
woman.
be you. Look how everything flips. One change, confidence, and suddenly she's controlling the narrative.
The council has voted for your arrest. They are coming for you now.
How dare you speak to me like that? I will not stand for this slander against my name.
This is our path. We must secure the Atlantic Pass before the Spanish realize our intent.
They believe a woman cannot defend this realm. They are gravely mistaken.
With no Seymour scandal staining her reputation, Elizabeth enters her teenage years as the preferred Tudor. Edward VI admires her. Mary respects her. Both see her as a stabilizing force, not a threat. So, when Henry VIII dies, the split between Mary and Elizabeth becomes less hostile. Mary still becomes queen after Edward, but without years of bitter rivalry. Mary does not view Elizabeth as a Protestant symbol waiting to steal the crown. There is no imprisonment, no tower, no night spent waiting for an axe. Instead, Mary brings Elizabeth into her inner circle, using her diplomacy to calm religious tensions. England stabilizes for the first time in decades, and when Mary dies childless in 1558, Elizabeth ascends peacefully, but here's where everything breaks from history. This Elizabeth is not the Virgin Queen, not the cautious, trauma-forged monarch. She believes in alliances. She believes in trust. She believes in marriage. England's future is about to change forever.
Arcest, a queen who trusts. That's either the beginning of a golden age or a disaster. Which one do you think it'll be?
Course of action is highly unwise, Your Majesty.
In this timeline, Elizabeth marries young not out of fear, but strategy. She chooses Prince Eric of Sweden, a Protestant ally and a man who genuinely admires her intellect. The marriage cements a northern Protestant alliance. England, Sweden, Denmark, parts of Germany. This alliance blocks Spain's dominance, neutralizes France, and transforms England into a continental player far sooner than in real history. With marriage securing politics, Elizabeth invests heavily in early naval modernization, public education, art patronage, merchant expansion. The Elizabethan Golden Age doesn't begin in 1588. It begins in 1565. A peaceful queen creates progress decades early. But peace doesn't last. Spain notices, Rome notices. And so does her cousin, Mary, Queen of Scots.